Okay, we are now going to start balancing equations worksheet number 3. As always, we're going to write down what elements we have before we start balancing. So, we have silicon and chlorine, hydrogen, and oxygen. We have one silicon on the left and one on the right, so 1 and 1. Chlorines, we have 4 on the left, and on the right hand side we have 1. Hydrogens, we have 2 on the left, and we have 1 on the right. And oxygens, we have 1 on the left and 2 on the right. So start from the top down. So we have silicon, 1 and 1, so those are balanced. Chlorine, we have 4 and 1. So I'm going to multiply this side on the right hand side by 4, so that way we can get those balanced. Hydrogens then changed. We now have 4 hydrogens on the right. So now we go to hydrogens. We have 4 on the right and 2 on the left. In order to make 4 on the left, we're going to multiply that by 4. That changed our oxygens to 2, which balances out. We're going to do 1 through 5 on the first video, and then 6 through 10 on the next. So we're going to keep going. We have AS, Na, O, and H. We have 1 AS on the left, and we have 1 AS on the right. We have 1 sodium on the left, and we have 3 on the right. Oxygens, we have 1 on the left, and we have 3 on the right. And hydrogens, we have 1 on the left, and we have 2 on the right. So the AS are balanced. Sodiums, however, we have 3 on the left and 1 on the right. So I'm going to multiply this by 3 on the left-hand side, the NaOH. That also changed our oxygens. We now have 3 oxygens, and we have 3 hydrogens. So our oxygens are balanced. Our hydrogens are not balanced, however. You notice that we need 3. No matter what, nothing I can multiply 2 by is going to equal 3, because 3 is an odd number. So the smallest number that's divisible by both 2 and 3 is 6. So I'm going to try to make those hydrogens equal 6. So 3 times 2 is 6. So now I have 6 here, and that's going to equal 6. That also changed our oxygens. We now have 6 oxygens, and we have 6 sodiums. So when we're going to go back and fix this, our ASs are still balanced. Our sodiums, however, we have 6 on the left, and we have 3 on the right. I have to multiply that compound, Na3ASO3, by 2 in order to make that 6. That also changed our AS, and it also changed our oxygens. So let's take a second look at this. Hydrogens are balanced, oxygens are balanced, sodiums are balanced. AS is the only thing that's not balanced. So therefore, I need 2, and I only have 1, so I'm going to multiply this by 2 in order to make that balance. That's a little bit harder one. Alright, we have gold, sulfur, and hydrogen in this one. We have 2 golds on the left and 1 on the right. 3 sulfurs on the left and 1 on the right. And hydrogens, we have 2 on the left and 2 on the right. So to get the golds balanced, I'm going to multiply the right-hand side by 2. Sulfurs, I have 3 sulfurs on the left. That means I want to multiply the right-hand side by 3. However, that changed our hydrogens in the process. We now have hydrogens. We have 6 of them on the right, which means I have to multiply the hydrogens on the left by 3 in order to make that 6. Alright, 4, we have VO, O, H, VO, H, and Cl. We have 2 vanadiums on the left, and we have 1 on the right. Oxygens, we have 5 on the left, and, we have it in 2 different spots, so we have 2 on the right. Hydrogens, we have 1 on the left, we have 3 on the right, and chlorines, we have 1 on the left and 3 on the right. Okay, so we have vanadiums. We have 2 on the left and 1 on the right. So I'm going to multiply the 1 on the right by 2 to make those balance. That changed a couple other things. We have oxygens now. We have 2 here and we have 1 here. So we actually have 3 oxygens total on the right. We have 6 chlorines now. Notice I have oxygen on multiple locations on the right hand side. So I'm going to skip that for now and come back to it, just to try to attempt to make my life easier. Okay, hydrogens. We have, how did I get through there? There should be 2. I have 2 on the right. I was mixing them up with something else. I was looking at the oxygens, I think. I don't know what I was looking at, but we have 2 hydrogens, and we have 1 on the left. So I'm going to multiply the 1 on the left by 2. So that way I have 2 hydrogens on the left. And I have 2 chlorines on the left now because of that being multiplied through. I have 6 chlorines on the right hand side now, and I only have 2 on the left. So I can actually multiply my HCl by 6 to make me have 6 chlorines. That also then changes the hydrogens. So in order to get 6 hydrogens on the right, I need to multiply that by 3. So that means I have 6 hydrogens on the right. That also changes the amount of oxygens I have. I have 3 here, and I have 2 here. So I have 3 and 2. That means I have 5 on the right-hand side now. So I have vanadium balance, oxygens balance, hydrogens, and chlorines there, all balanced. So it becomes 1, 6, 2, and 3. That one was a little bit harder. Alright. Running out of room for the bottom one, but that's okay. We have mercury, oxygen, hydrogen, and phosphate. I'm going to keep phosphate as a whole because I see it exactly the same. It didn't get broken up. So I'm going to keep it like that. I have 1 mercury and 3 mercuries on the right. Oxygens, I have 2 here. I'm not going to count those because I have those in the phosphates. I'm not going to count, so that means I have 2 on the left. I'm not going to count these because they're in the phosphates, but I have 1 over there with the water. Hydrogens, I have 2 here, and I have 3 more there. So that means I have 5 hydrogens, and I have 2 hydrogens on the right. Phosphates, I have 1 and 2. Okay, so let's start with the mercuries. I have 3 on the left. I'm going to multiply mercury hydroxide by 3 in order to make that balanced. In the process, I had 2 oxygens here, and now I'm multiplying that by 3, so now I actually have 6 oxygens. And the same with the hydrogens. I had 2, but I multiplied it by 3, so that means I have 6 here, but I have 3 more here, so that means I actually have 9 hydrogens now. Okay, oxygens. We have 6 on the left. That means I'm going to multiply the water by 6 in order to balance those out. I now have 12 hydrogens. Okay, notice I have hydrogens one place on the right, but over here I have it in 2 different spots. So I'm going to skip hydrogen and hope that they balance out in the end. So phosphates, I have 2 here, and in order to make 2 here, I need to multiply that by 2. That changes the hydrogens to 6 because I have 2 times 3 now, and that's going to equal 6. And I have 6 over here. So that means I actually have 12 hydrogens. And that looks like it balances out. Alright, that's questions 1 through 5. Number 5, the answer is 3, 2, 1, and 6. And if you need more help, there's the answers to questions 6 through 10 on the next video.